Yo, welcome to Sports and Street Talk. My name is Josh Portis.
Rob Gordon.
And Brock Jones.
And today we got a very special guest in the building, Jacob Brown. Welcome to the party, man. That's what we call it, man.
Welcome. More than anything, it's a family. Welcome.
Jacob the Bull Brown.
Yes, sir.
How you get the name the Bull, man? Like, let's talk about that. Let's start there.
Man, the Bull, that goes way back, man. I mean, when I first started training, just like when I competed my first time, I came in like, hard. I came in with this hard aggression, so my opponents, I would just come in with this fierce energy and I would just get the job done, So it's like, I was so intense with it, and like I would just take them down, get the submission. Every opponent, I would like put them out like within the first like minute or so. I get the job done, So I go through the fights, and it was like, I felt like I just had this type of energy like a bull, It was just really intense with every fight, and I had this menacing mohawk, So it was like very intimidating.
So let's just bring the people in because we just jump right in. So
Yeah.
Jacob is a jiu-jitsu fighter for how many years?
I've been in the sport for 14 years.
14 years.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
So you've been fighting jiu-jitsu for 14 years. You started when you were how old?
I started at 6.
You started at 6. And how old are you now?
20.
He's 20 years old. How many titles?
Man,
So many to count.
Yeah. That's a questionable.
Okay, well, so in the world of jiu-jitsu, I mean, we come from a little bit different background. Josh, football, myself, football, Rock, basketball, and football. What is that preparation process like? Like, just kind of walk us through a day in the life of, like, jiu-jitsu. If you, like, about to go to a fight, I know, like, in boxing, they warm up on the mitts. And MMA, it's a little bit different. Like, what is that, like, kind of preparation process, and what's the process before a fight? Like, how long do you have before you prep for a fight? Like, what is that time frame? What does that look like?
Well, preparing for a fight, and especially like anything that has a world title, like competition in it. Like I was practicing for Worlds and Pan Ams. They only come around once a year, so I got to prepare like 3 to 4 months early before the tournament even comes. So I have to have a good sleep schedule. I have to eat good. A lot of working out, So it's like I got to stay in motion with that for a consistent amount of time, Because if I don't keep up, I'm just gonna go down. I'm gonna downtrack, So
Yeah, for sure.
And then that's like, I have a goal that I'm working towards to, and then to complete that goal, I need to fulfill my, my goals. I need to fulfill everything I need to do. So if I'm gonna work out, I gotta stick to doing that the amount of days I'm doing. So if I'm doing 3 to 4 times a day of working out, I can't miss a day, because then it's gonna be like, that's one backtrack that I'm going down that I should be going only higher, not lower. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Right.
How many days a week you working out?
3 to 4 times.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump into this conversation. Just reading up on you. IBJIF.
IBJJF.
IBJJF.
JJF.
IBJJF for Worlds.
World champion 2019, correct?
Yes.
Tell me what that year was for you, as far as your mentality, your mindset, the process of taking every match, just getting to that goal of like, I'm a world champion in this thing, and I want to continue to do this and continue to prolong my career.
I feel like when I became a 2019 IBJJF world champion, well, I want to say how happy I felt because of it, because I feel like the amount of really and work and effort I put into that, it paid off so much. Like, I was so focused on that, winning that tournament for no-gi, and it just it took so much amount of like energy, and like it's very like it's tiring, but it's worth what you're doing.
For sure.
Now the process, like, I'm bad to cut you off, Rock. I ain't done yet, man. You always doing that.
Go ahead, do your thing, bro. Do your thing. I got to get at him, though. I got to talk to him.
No, I'm messing with you. So the process during the fight, like, you're getting on the mat. Is it like give me a feel? Like, I'm visual. Like, I got to be in the presence of it. Like, I'm watching the videos, kind of like watching you, doing your thing, and like you're on the mat and. Like, is it sweaty, itchy? Like, is it like, give me like, fill me in on like the environment of like, what you're dealing with, and then just the opponent itself. Like, what do you guys look for? Like, is there any pressure points to get people down? Like, what is that like?
Yeah, I mean,
There's a lot of secrets.
There's a lot of pressure during the fight, but like it's when once you're in the fight, once you're in the motion, you feel comfortable once you're on the mat. Once you're fighting with the guy, it's like now you're focused with you and your opponent. You're not focused on the audience or who's watching you. So like when I got into the fight, you know, my first couple rounds, the first fight I had with my opponent, I was already like I wasn't nervous and all like that. I wasn't fearing of anything. But you know, I just only focused on getting the submission. You know, like I take him down, try to focus on my next move, get the back, get the choke. You know, but I mean, I'm not focused on anything else, but only my opponent. You know, like
You doing any trash talking?
what?
You doing any
trash talking out there?
You trash talking out there?
Nah, I'm humble about it. You know,
Oh,
I just
okay.
like, you know, I keep it to myself. You know, like I just want to get in there. All respect to my opponents and anybody I fight.
Okay.
And
Damn,
I was
that I
like,
be
hey,
in there
man,
talking shit.
we're gonna scrap on the mat and then we're gonna shake hands after. You know, that's how it is.
Okay.
So with the world champion, does it come with a ring? Does it come with a belt, like a golden belt? Like what does it come with? What's the
Oh, we get gold medals.
gold medals? I love that. Gold medals. What you was gonna ask him, Rock? You look like you had
Oh
a lot
yeah,
to say.
I've been waiting on you. But I want to know about the mental preparation. You know, just when you're preparing to level up and get in there with your opponent. What's the mental preparation? How does it affect you?
I feel like I come in strong. You know, I'm always like strong about, you know, everything I come into. I don't ever feel like I'm, you know, thinking less of my opponent. I don't ever underestimate anybody I fight. I'm always thinking like, hey, I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna do what I need to do to win, and hopefully for the best outcome. I mean, I worked hard for this, so it's like mentally, I'm always strong for every fight that I walk into. You know, so I feel like I work my ass off. You know, like I train every day. I wake up early as hell in the morning. You know, like 5 in the morning, 4:30, and then you know,
Okay.
eat my breakfast and
What
stay-
you eat?
Man,
that
a lot
diet
of
like?
protein, like
What you eating?
chicken,
Eggs? You eating bacon? What you eating?
chicken, eggs, some salad, you know, green shakes, you know, just anything to keep me like up,
Lean.
you know, yeah, lean.
Okay, so let's walk through a workout. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, we all in the gym, but what you bench pressing, you grabbing and move. What you doing in the gym? I want to know. Like I just want I want to know, brother. I want to walk through. Like, what does it feel like to be a champion in jiu-jitsu? Yeah, I don't know. Like, what's that workout like? What
Well,
is
yeah,
that regimen?
No, yeah, I'm bench pressing. A lot of like strength and conditioning. So
Okay.
like a lot of like, you know, calisthenics and stuff like that. Just a lot of running. You know, anything to really stay lean. I've been lifting a little bit more than I had before. Before it was really just a lot of running. A lot of just I used to cut weight more than actual lift. You know.
Cause your dad, I mean your dadager, dad manager,
Yeah.
he was talking about before we came on that you had to go up in weight because you were getting sick and
Yeah, I was
so
feeling.
talk about that process a little bit.
I was feeling more weak throughout time, as especially that I'm aging older.
Okay.
You know, like I didn't feel the same as I was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Right.
You know,
so you
when
was
I
walking around at what weight?
when I was a little bit younger around the time, or like me currently.
Just I mean, with then and as opposed to now.
Oh well, right now I'm walking around at least like 150 now. But like usually when I'm for tournaments, I kind of like to stay between 145 to 150. But before I had to be like 137 in like with no gi on, so I had to weigh in at tournaments with 141 with the gi. So I was cutting the gi weight plus my own weight, so
What you call
37.
it? What's the weight?
The gi.
With the gi, I had to weigh in 141, and without it, I had to be 137. So I was like,
How much do the gi weigh?
It could be up to like 4 pounds max.
Okay.
For real?
Yeah,
Dang, that thing heavy, huh?
yeah.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
So
That's
it-
crazy.
Yeah, it took a toll on my body. So I
So-
just
Go ahead, Rock.
Yeah. So have you actually studied any other forms of martial arts?
any of the forms of martial arts. I did wrestling, did judo, and you know, I did some like other sports like, you know, boxing and stuff. But that was more like for like kind of just to stay like healthy, just being conditioned, you know, just have my body try other things and see how I feel. But I always focused mainly on jiu-jitsu because I feel like that was my passion and what I found. And I started so young in it. It was just kind of what I wanted to stick to. But I definitely like have experience with, you know, a lot of judo and wrestling. And I just throw that in all into one and I mix it into jiu-jitsu. And it's like, it helps my game a lot more.
So is MMA in your future?
My future, not right now, not what I'm thinking, but I'm focusing more on becoming a jiu-jitsu black belt world champion, and then open up my own jiu-jitsu academy at black belt sometime.
What you gonna call the academy? I'm interested.
Man, you already know it's got to be called the Bull Academy.
Come on, come on! I was setting you up. I'm trying to set you up. A little shameless plug.
yeah.
Little shameless plug. You know what I mean? The Bull Academy. You know what I mean? You got your exclusive.
You got the logo already envisioned, like the logo of the cat.
We working on the logo.
Okay,
You know, we got
the
the name.
design.
You know, how to get the name
I
right.
like the Bull Academy. I might have to come and give me a couple classes or two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
little grappling, you know. Yeah.
So-
They ain't
so
ready for
talk about
me,
some of
man.
the
I'm be
things
in the
you got
street
coming
picking
up.
fights for no reason. Come on,
Some of the
get
things I got coming up.
Yeah.
Well, right now I'm just focusing currently on the next 2 fights I got coming up. So next week I have a Jiu-Jitsu World League Worlds. That's the world tournament for that specific tournament. I think it's NABJJF or SJJF. Oh, I forget the names. Yeah, but I got one next week coming up, and after that I have a super fight coming up that I'm focusing on.
So what is a super fight? Just explain to the people that don't know, because some people don't know what that is.
Yeah, well, super fight is just like it's a one-on-one fight with you and one other person, and it's on a big platform, like a big stage, and just got a really huge audience watching you guys. Like you get tickets, you can watch it, and it's also televised. So
So what could somebody watch like one of your fights? Like if we in the UK somewhere, what could we watch?
well,
The bull fight.
depending on what they stream, anybody could watch all the fights on Flow Grappling. I mean, that's kind of like where that's like the whole platform of jiu-jitsu. Like you can find it on the Instagram, IBJJF.
Slow down for the people and look in the camera when you say that.
IBJJF on Instagram. You can find that's the main platform for jiu-jitsu to stream.
There it is. So let's tell us a little bit about growing up out here, because you grew up out here on the West, right?
When I moved here when I was like about 10 years old.
So the difference between the West and the East Coast. Have you trained on the East Coast?
Yeah, of course.
So which one you like better?
I like the East Coast training. I mean,
Wow.
yeah,
Really?
I like because I kind of grew up from that training from a long time, and it really like made my mentality strong in jiu-jitsu, and physically and mentally. I was always prepared for anything,
East Coast.
Yeah, East Coast style,
Yeah.
So, and then when I moved here, I really adjusted to the West Coast jiu-jitsu style. It's more like it helps a lot more on the competitive side, only because like the East Coast guy, I feel like I was actually like doing jiu-jitsu at the time mainly for like self-defense,
For sure.
So just
Yeah,
like
you just catch a dude in the park and just
Yeah,
chop him
exactly,
in the neck.
I know how to stop a
I
fight.
get me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's like, when I came to the West Coast, I was really focused on making jiu-jitsu more on the competitive side, like, so when I go to a tournament, I know how to do these specific moves to submit somebody or put them in a hold, where it's not something you would usually do in like out in a street fight or something.
Well, put Rock in the hold. I want to see it.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead.
Go ahead and try it out.
Here's
Don't get too
the
close
thing.
over there now, Rock. All
You know,
right. Tell me.
I don't know if you guys know, but with jiu-jitsu specialists, it don't matter how big you are. If you're not trained, you really can't fuck with you.
Yeah.
Just straight up.
Yeah.
So what are challenging your limits like?
As far as jiu-jitsu goes, I fight anybody in size, like I go to absolute weight division. People up to like, 170s, maybe a little bit heavier. But I fight any weight division when it comes to like absolute. Absolute division is like you go any weight division you want, after you're done in your main division. Once you enter that, you can go like 2 weight classes up. It's crazy. Then I believe it or not, I won a lot of those absolute fights, like people that's like nowhere near my weight and just way bigger than me. So
So you just walking down the street and you just like, man, I can really just end this.
Destroy him.
Destroy this
It's-
man right
yeah.
here. And he think everything is good to go. And you just like, you know what? Don't mess with me.
yeah,
today.
no, it's possible for sure.
Yeah, talk
for sure.
talk about that mentality a little bit. If approached aggressively.
If approached aggressively.
I would be very calm about the situation. Like I would try to humble the guy, like he's gonna think like, oh, I'm just a little skinny kid, I can't do anything. Like that's how we all think when we're that big,
Right.
Just say, hey man, like I don't want to be in the situation, but if I have to like hold down the situation, like there's really easy ways to take somebody down that's big, without having to use all power,
Oh yeah, talk to
that's
me
good.
about it. How
Yeah.
do you take somebody down big with no power?
Man, you can literally take an arm drag, and trip him over the ankle, or a little ankle. Like there's a bunch like ankle snatches I do in jiu-jitsu. If you see a lot of my videos,
Yeah, I see.
like I'm always snatching by the ankles, like catch them off guard, or like I fake it, So it's like you put them in a chokehold or you put them in an arm hold and get an arm bar. It's so many easy ways. Like that's where judo comes in hand too as well. Like when I did judo, I've taken down many big people with just a simple hip throw. It's all about the certain movements you do and momentum you put into it.
Right.
So I watched a lot of your videos, man, and you're a beast, a bull,
Yeah.
all of you. But you're a superhero.
Yeah.
What's your superpower, man?
Uh,
Like your super move,
Super move. You better be careful over there. It's super moving.
Yeah, you super moving over there. You real close over there.
Yeah, I said like assault a guy or something, you know. Like I feel like my main base in like judo and jiu-jitsu, I mainly like to focus on judo when I'm standing up, because like that's the first thing you're gonna do. And somebody when you in a stand up fight, you're gonna take their like shirt or like their jacket, and you're gonna use that against them. Just to, like literally, you can throw them with momentum, not even a lot of power. It's force.
So I want to talk about, obviously we talked about the preparation and your mindset and stuff like that. Talk to me about your trainers, right? You trained on the East Coast, you trained on the West Coast. What was the value, and what really got you along this jiu-jitsu prolonged career in a way where like, hey man, I'm gonna take this to a whole nother level. Talk to me about your trainers and how each one was different from the other.
Well, in the East Coast training when I was a little bit younger, it was a little bit more like, hey, like it was like more easier on the West Coast. Like it was more like if you feel like you can do this, like take it as how you want. But then when I came to the West Coast, it was like, if you want this, like you got to thrive for it. Like if you want to make it here, you want to have this specific goal, you need these requirements. So like you need to wake up at like 4:30 a.m. You need to eat good. You need to train 3 to 4 classes in the morning if you want to win this tournament. So like you really are focused on that. So when I was in the East Coast, I was a little bit more like laid back on that. I wasn't like too heavy. Like I was too young to even like kind of realize that. But now it's like I realized so much more, in the West Coast training. And growing up here, I was just a lot more focused than I was ever when I was younger.
What made you make the decision to say, I want to beat people up for a living? Like what? Because some kids go basketball, football, soccer. At what point were you like, this is it? I really want to whoop people's ass for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Well, it started off when I was bullied when I was younger, in
Okay.
school, when I was just a kid. So that's when I told my parents, I was like, I want to be put in something that I can self-defend
how it
myself in.
turns.
Yeah.
Now, if you seen that bully or saw that bully right now, what would you do to him? I'm interested. What I'm saying?
Yeah. That's a funny question. I would just look at him in the eyes and be like, hey, man, like, remember what happened like all those years back when we were kids?
Yeah.
And if he was still that same person, I mean, we all changed, but it was like I would like talk about it just to bring it up.
What if he didn't change? Would you put him in an arm grab?
If he didn't change and he was just like, yeah, I remember, I still look at you the same, like a little wimpy kid, I'd be like, all right, this. Let me do what I wanted to do back then.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Dope.
Describe to me about like the rules of a match, right? Like give the people like how you get determined to win. Obviously, you hold them down on the mat. Is it kind of like wrestling, or just give the people more of an insight, like the rules of the jiu-jitsu and how the game is won.
Yeah. Well, in jiu-jitsu, when you're sparring with somebody on the mat live, depending on how you win, it depends on points, advantages. And you could also get penalties if certain moves, like if you're holding the opponent too long, you're not doing anything, that's a penalty. So you can lose like that because you get points taken off you. So that's one way you can lose. You can lose by submission. Or, when I score points, if you have like 6 points up on the guide, you can get points easily, like taking somebody down or passing the guard on the side control or taking their back as 4 points, So like,
that's what I want to know.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel to make a person tap out?
It's a good feeling, like it's like, damn, okay, like yeah, you feel like you've been working on that goal, like because you want to submit your opponents in every tournament you do, because you want to get the job done. You're trying to get this gold medal. Everybody in the bracket is trying to get the gold medal, so like he's not the only one, because your opponent is gonna be trying to submit you back. You're not only trying to go for it, he's gonna want to do it to you too. So it's like, I'm going to get it before you do. So,
Who's your favorite jiu-jitsu specialist? Who's your inspiration?
Great question.
That's a good one. I look up to my professors because, I train with them, and I feel like, at my academy, and I like the way, what they did with their career, and I feel like it's definitely a good inspiration. But also then again, I like to like think of myself as like, I want to be my own inspiration, because I want to put myself up there too. But it's always nice to see like other professors like mine at my own academy, to see like I like what he did. Like I want to do that one myself.
What about sponsorships and like different advertisements or advertisers that want to advertise with you? Like, do you wear certain advertisers on your gi? Or like, can people sponsor you? Like, when you gonna be on the Wheaties box? I want to know certain things. Like,
Yeah. No, yeah, I definitely I have a sponsorship for my gis. His name Moya Brand.
Say it again.
Moya Brand.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my gi sponsor, and I have to slap that over my gis. Like most of my competitions, you see, I have a Moya Brand gi on, like in the back or in the front. You would see the name, So that's my sponsor for gis.
Okay. Could you do other sponsorships? Like, what kind of you're not wearing nothing on your feet, so
No, yeah. Yeah, you could wear like you could have other sponsorships, like, but you could only have one gi sponsorship. But if
Okay.
it's like other sponsorships, it would have to be like an energy drink sponsorship, or
Like a Red Bull.
or like a chiropractor sponsorship. You could slap their patches on your gi, but you can only have like one gi sponsorship.
got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you like? How does that work? Have you done like a Nike commercial yet? I'm just trying to plug some things in.
Oh,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Just figure it out.
No.
Like maybe a Nike gi. I don't know. Maybe.
No, there's definitely some dope ass like designs there with gis though. Like I've seen people with like crazy gis, like with different brands. Like I've seen people with like Adidas gis, like they have 3 stripes lines on the gis, and I think that's pretty sick.
That's
So
dope.
they definitely have some cool collabs. Like people even wear like gis from like their favorite shows that they watch. They would customize their own gis. But
Okay.
as far as like competing in like IBJJF tournaments, you can only wear like 3 color gis. You can't wear any other 3 colors.
Okay.
And those 3 colors consist of white, blue, and black.
Can you mix it?
No, not in tournaments like IBJJF.
Dang, they don't give you no fashion. You can't be no fashion.
No, yeah, everybody got specific 3 colors only.
Can't get a Gucci gi, huh?
Nah.
So what I want to ask is there in particular opponent that you got your sights on?
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's not like anybody specific I'm like looking out for, like, trying to like, not that I can think of right now, but I mean, I've definitely had some like past fights where it's like, oh, we had like a great fight. I would want to like fight him again at black belt. Like in previous fights, I think back when I was like a green belt, I'm not sure what year it was. I had a really good opponent. His name was, I think it was like Cater Tulo. And a lot of respect to him, out there to Cater Tulo, because he was one of my like greatest fights I've had at the time when I was a green belt. And it was a very close match, and it would definitely be nice to like, see him again at black belt. But yeah, definitely he was like a good opponent.
Has anybody ever made you tap out?
Yeah. I've tapped out a few times, in tournaments. I mean, like
What
I've
did
got.
that feel like? I just want to know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a feeling where it's like if you get tapped out, it's like, I try not to, make it hard on myself. It's like, hey man, my opponent was good, all respects to him. So it's like, next time I'm just gonna work harder to have a better defense system, and there's like parts of like submissions where you have to protect yourselves and work on that a little bit more. So if I got like choked out by a collar choke, I'm just gonna learn how to protect my neck more when I train. When I go back to train, that's what I'm gonna focus on.
I like that.
Yeah.
I learned
Very
something,
humble
man,
about
and I
it.
want to give this to you.
Yeah, because you be getting
The
choked
only
out.
person you need to worry about beating is the yesterday you.
Yeah.
Say that
Yeah,
again, bro.
exactly.
Only person you need to worry about beating is the yesterday you.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
That's how we get better in life.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that. And on that
And
note,
on that note,
we got to Jacob, man. That was a pleasure,
again.
man. We definitely, learned from you today, man.
Thanks,
it was,
man.
a cool,
Appreciate you,
definitely
Man,
a conversation.
Such a pleasure.
appreciate
Such a
it.
pleasure.
You know,
bro.
we
Such a pleasure.
you definitely learn, how you pretty much, go
get
about
to
your day to day, and how you, keep continuing your, your career and everything like that in regards to jiu-jitsu. And we learned something. I found that it was fascinating for us to find out a little bit more how you prepared and what the match feels like, and the different type of training, because we all come from a different sport: football, basketball,
Of course.
comedy.
Yeah,
More comedy.
Yeah,
You
more
can
At
tell
the
he's
end
a
of the
little
day, you
comedian.
gotta respect the journey, though.
So we really appreciate you coming by and and
course.
blessing us with your presence. So
Thanks, man.
on that note, man, check us out on www.snstalk.net for all the latest episodes. YouTube, check us out. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the latest episodes. We in 44 countries. Check us out. Check this episode out with Jacob the Bull Brown.
Bull.
He got the
Yes,
Bull Brown. The
pretty
Academy
good, guys.
coming soon,
The Bull
near you,
Academy.
the Bull Academy. I'm looking
Yes,
out
sir.
for that one too as well.
Stay
but
tuned for that.
definitely, man, it's a pleasure. Peace.
Appreciate it.
Peace and
man.
love.
Peace and love.
y'all.